This episode has been sponsored by Underground Chicago Talk, a social and cultural podcast listening experience that features a series of conversations broadcast live from the Pedway in Chicago's hidden neighborhood. The host, Rudolph Monroe, is a former actor, director, and the founder of the Earth Theater. Underground Chicago Talk's latest episode, Cupid and Valentine's Day, is available now on all streaming platforms. Give them a listen today. Welcome back to Brownie Sunday.
Welcome.
Where our brownies are made on Sundays.
Okay.
Yeah, we have brownies every time.
Oh
I don't
my
know if you all knew that.
Okay.
Fun fact.
I mean, it's what, It's
I'm kidding. I'm
way
kidding.
to live.
I'm not kidding.
It's a way to live.
My name is Jalen.
I'm Corey.
And welcome back to Brownie Sunday. So, I smell love, which is flowers to me.
You said I'm sorry.
Smell love.
What you said? I smell love.
Hey.
I immediately thought of like a fart. I'm like, you trying to make them think I farted?
Why would you think? What?
It just when you said I smell, I'm like, what do you smell?
I don't know. What in what
I
world
don't know
do
why
love smells
I
like
smell
farts?
love because it's like when you only are okay with the fart smell if you love someone.
Well, I was thinking roses or dandelions or something, or even chocolates.
You said I smell love.
I don't know. Okay. So I guess if
love
you,
is in the air.
I guess if you smell love, it's a fart. Everyone, just so you know.
It is. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Oh God. So, can you tell me something about a Valentine's Day in the past that you love? It can be anything.
Okay. I loved when we first moved here and we were just like struggling and like
Where struggling?
I didn't love the struggle, but right. Okay. The struggle was every day, right? But this was like a particularly specific struggle because it was like new city, new place to live, new job, trying to find work, new everything, right? And what I loved is that we were just chill. We weren't like, I gotta have a steak dinner with baked potato at a big fancy restaurant, and I gotta get a card, and I gotta get a big box of chocolates and a big ass teddy bear. We were like, you know what? Like, you want some PF Chang's?
Oh yeah, that was PF
Let's get some
Chang's.
PF Chang's because because then I was in that acting class.
Yeah.
Remember? So that was getting out late anyway. So it wasn't like we had all day to just be like, let's go to a dinner reservation. I got out like 7:00 or something.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I mean? But I just love that we loved each other enough to not feel that pressure of like, oh, I gotta buy a lot of stuff. I gotta get some super, big gifts and stuff. We were just like, let's go chill. Let's go to PF Chang.
Yeah.
Order your favorite. I'll order my favorite and go home.
PF Chang's. It's been a while. Is it with an S or with an S or with
I have no idea.
S?
I have no idea.
I always call it PF Chang's.
I think that is it.
Hey, don't quote me. I
But
really
you go
don't
ahead.
know.
Tell me yours. Tell me your favorite.
Let's see. Honestly, I think my favorite is gonna be this year, because I have a plan that I haven't told you about yet.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, that's if I can swing it. We have a lot of stuff going on, but I did have a thing I wanted to do.
Wow.
And
okay.
it's gonna be like anything we've ever done before. So I will not tell you what it is.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's gonna be cool. I think this is gonna be awesome. So
Okay. This is a pleasant surprise. It's like
you heard it here first, folks. See, now I'm saying farts. That's you. You did that. That's your fault. Because farts was not in my mind until you said farts.
it wasn't in your mind, but it was in your.
Okay. Too much information.
No.
It wasn't in my nose either. Because I was
Smell
thinking,
the love.
I was smelling roses.
Anyway.
Distinctly roses.
Wait. So okay, let me ask you this, because I don't know, Valentine's Day just after a point wasn't big to me anymore, because obviously with you, it's different.
About to say.
No. I'm talking about.
Like, damn.
Meaning.
I got a whole surprise.
No, I'm saying throughout life, Valentine's Day has its, ebbs and flows of importance,
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as gifts and things, and something planned. Because, well, I feel really secure in our relationship, so I feel, to me, it doesn't put all that importance on that one day that to make me feel like, oh, he better show me he loved me. It's like, I know you love me, and so it's a great thing, actually. But over the years, just, when you're single, sometimes you have like a Valentine's date, sometimes you don't. When you're young and you're in school, sometimes you get a nice candygram from your crush. Sometimes you don't. And it's like either one it's so topsy-turvy, it's so crushing sometimes that over time I think you just be like, man, Valentine's Day, whatever. I don't care.
I don't think I think I've always wanted to be more romantic on Valentine's Days in the past. However, I never got the candygram crush from any of my crushes.
You didn't get any like
Not one.
You didn't get a hard Jolly Rancher
No.
candy?
You have to say no so many times. Okay. I'm already embarrassed. I'm kidding. I'm not embarrassed. I'm hot now.
Were you sending them then?
Of course, I was.
So then I think it's just a cultural reason. Not because you didn't have people crushing on you. It literally is because girls are taught, like, you receive the candy before, and then guys are taught you got to send it.
So what about the homies I know that got them every year?
Oh.
What about those homies?
Maybe
What about those sitting right next to me receiving candy?
Maybe
I'm
they
going
bought them for
broke.
themselves.
No. I distinctly remember one time in high school where it was like beautifully awkward, but it was awkward. This guy who shall remain nameless because I forgot his name.
Okay.
And I'm sitting in this class chilling, and the aforementioned candygrams are coming in. And I'm like, not even paying attention. I start writing like a poem or something to myself. I'm doing something else.
Self-love, practicing self-love at an early age.
Very early. So they come in, and at my school they just have you got selected to do the delivery. I forgot what class you got selected from, but there's some class that if you took it,
Oh, really?
it was known. I'm saying like just a part of the class assignment that you were going to be doing the candygrams. I can't remember. I think it was maybe like marketing.
Wait, your school? Oh, I see.
business
Okay, I was like,
or
they
something
taking
like that.
Valentine's Day pretty seriously.
No. It was
a
just
special. It was a class.
Yeah.
Designated towards marketing. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
something
Okay.
like that. And then you just had to like learn or whatever. So this guy, he was getting a bunch. However, I think he got like 4. And one of the 4 was from the girl that was passing them out. So it was, and I just feel sorry for her because she didn't do it right. She should have did hers first. Hey, for me. And then the other 3. Because the way she did it was she gave him the other 3, and then he got all hyped for those. And then when he got hers, he was just like, thanks. It was so awkward.
Dang.
I'll never forget it. So
that's what I'm saying. It's like after a point, you just start to be like, I don't care. I will say this though, about that situation, like you said, with girls sending stuff. I don't know why it just seemed like amongst my group, my friends and stuff, they didn't like send boys candygrams. So I applaud that at your school that the girls were like, whatever, I'm gonna send a gram if I want. Because that was me. Like, I was always, I wasn't afraid to put it out there. Like, girls are taught the guys to pursue, and I'm not against that either. I like, being pursued, especially by you. But like, sometimes you gotta also put it out there if you wanna let somebody know you're interested. There's nothing wrong with that. I think people just are afraid to even show their interest. It's like a person is gonna be less likely to, try to really pursue something if they don't think that person has any kind of attraction or interest in them whatsoever.
oh yeah. I only played games I thought I was gonna win. I didn't go out for women that
didn't even look at you.
No, because I'm like, for what?
Exactly.
So I can get embarrassed? So I can say my little allowance to go on a date with you and you say no? No, I'm not doing that. No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Keep my money to myself.
But yeah, I was that girl. Okay, grade school, like high school, I sent a candygram or something, but I wasn't like doing a lot of crazy stuff. Like in grade school, I was big on like big acts, romantic gestures.
Oh, where were you when I was in grade school?
Look, I'm gonna tell you this real quick. One time for my 8th grade crush, I made this huge Valentine heart out of like 2 poster boards. So imagine how big that heart was.
Oh God, in your little hands.
And then it was like red. I put glitter on it. I said like something on the front, like "Be Mine" or something. I wrote a poem that put it on the inside, and then I put it in his locker. And during a break, and when he went to his locker, he opened it, and everybody saw it. It was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool! She likes you. It's awesome. What are you gonna do?" It was like I felt like I was like a mini like celebrity tabloid thing. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, did you see what Corey made for him? What are you gonna say? What is he gonna say?"
Oh, God. What did he say?
He liked me back. So
There's a pause there.
no, I mean,
Are you sure he liked you back?
No, I'm saying he. Hey, I think I know if someone likes me back.
Okay.
I'm saying the circumstances to Brownie were complicated, so we kind of had to be like on the low, okay? Okay? He had just gotten out of a relationship.
Secret love affairs.
He had just gotten out of a relationship, so it's kind of like low, so we would have some stolen moments in the library, in the bookshelves, between the shelves, like looking at each other between the books.
Oh my God.
Pull a book out and like,
this is awesome.
"Hey, how are you?" Whisper, put the book back.
This is crazy.
Anyway, all right.
So, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will be talking about a new HBO show called My Mom, Your Dad. And all the insights we took on this reality dating show of all about second chances. We'll be back.
Hey, psst. Yeah, you, come here. Come closer. If you like what you're hearing, go ahead and follow us. We're at Brownie Sunday Podcast on Instagram and on YouTube, okay? You'll like what you see. All right, now go back to what you were doing. So this week, we watched a new reality show. Okay, so, you know, we love reality shows. So when this one came on, it was like, ooh, it looked so good, right? So it's hosted by Yvonne Orji, aka Molly from Insecure. It's called My Mom, Your Dad. It basically features like single moms and dads at this second chance retreat. And that's where they are going to be mingling and going on dates with each other. See if they have a shot at finding love after, you know, their divorce.
Plot twist. If you haven't heard that song, it's a great song. Anyway, the plot twist is the parents didn't come alone. They also came with their kids. I think they were all college age at least, right? At least 18.
Yeah.
Right?
College bound
Something
or
like
in
that.
college. Yeah.
Something like that. And they, who nominated them to come to the second chance retreat. And during all the dates and the entirety of the parents' stay, the kids have 24-hour surveillance on them, where they get to creep and watch how everything is going.
Mm-hmm.
Also, during that time when the parents go on individual dates, the kids have an opportunity to meddle in the date. So they can be anything from sending in an awkward, horrible harpist to ruin the mood, or some romantic massage oils for feet massages.
Yes. For feet massages.
Feet massages. Foot massages.
Mm-hmm.
You get the gist.
Yeah.
So.
And the parents don't know about the surveillance, obviously, because then they will be acting really weird, you know, on the cameras. So, that's, yeah. So, let's, initially, like I said, we saw the little, trailer?
Trailer, yeah.
And we were like, this is going to be good. Like, just from the trailer already, it looks so interesting. Because when have you ever seen a reality show that's dating, that's anybody that's, you know, maybe 30 or older, or older than 35, you know? They're mostly 20-somethings, right? Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And then, again, they did have the younger, you know, audience component where they had the kids. So young people are going to want to watch. Older people are going to want to watch. It's perfect win-win, right?
Yeah. And it was one of the first shows I've seen in a long time that was really about the love. Because even Love is Blind is mostly about the love. However, they do induce a lot of drama by doing certain things, you know, to kind of spice it up. Right. This one was strictly love. If it wasn't going to be dramatic, you know, the producers didn't send in crazy things. They kind of just let the love flow. So I definitely love that about that show. And also, because it was the whole second chance thing, they just had this self-assurance about them that most dating shows don't have. It was, hey, I've been in love before, so I can find love again. So it wasn't so precious like a lot of the other shows are.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was kind of just like, hey, you like me? Nah, cool. And they just move on over to the next parent. So that is something I love about this
Yeah.
show. It was cool seeing Yvonne again too. I don't feel like I see her that often. So it's just cool seeing her on HBO again outside of Insecure. She's making her whole hosting
Right.
rounds.
Exactly.
I did think it was interesting though that she wasn't someone that has known to be in a big relationship and was hosting the show, and I honestly think that was a good choice in hindsight because it was she got to kind of look at everything from fresh eyes, you know, not having
Right.
been in
Being
a
single herself.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So what did you think about the whole kids being there thing?
Well, I mean, it definitely made for interesting TV. I feel like, okay, I feel like it was very, very awkward. They probably got a little more comfortable with it, but then also still was awkward. Like, you're never going to be completely 100% comfortable watching your parent date. Just like parents, I don't think are ever really, really comfortable when their kids are dating, like getting married. They finally have to accept, like,
Yeah.
okay, you've been dating, you're going to be with someone for the rest of your life, hopefully. But I definitely know for the kids, that's just cringy. Because parents, they're like from a different maturity level. Parents have to accept that their kids are going to date. There are some that don't and make it very difficult and weird.
Which I would never understand.
And they're just like, you can't date until you're 28. But parents eventually they understand, and some parents are better than others. They let their kids start dating. Like maybe when they're 13, they could start dating.
Whew.
Some people they let them go on little dates, like supervised dates.
Oh, okay.
Like we're
Okay.
gonna take you guys to the movies, or we're gonna take you to the
Yeah.
mall,
Okay.
and you guys can roam around. I'm gonna be sitting here in the food court at Auntie Yen's Pretzel. You know what I'm saying?
Very specific.
Like, I'm just saying, that's what I thought of. Like, that'd be the place where I want to sit because I love the pretzels.
The pretzels are bomb.
But I don't think that for kids it's harder, especially because they have another parent. There's that like you. First of all, you have to be comfortable with them going, and they obviously did because they nominated them. But it's still gonna be weird because you're basically like saying, "Hey, go meet someone other than my dad or other than my mom." What about you? What did you? How weird do you think it was for them?
I thought it was. I thought it was awkward at first. I mean, I think that. Well, I know that the kids came with really good intentions, and they genuinely wanted to see their parents like move on with someone else. And also, I noticed while watching the show, a lot of the other parent had already had someone too, or had been in a relationship not too long before. So it kind of made it a little bit easier because they're like, well, my mom or dad, who's not on the show, already has someone or is dating themselves. So it's not as awkward. One thing that did nervous me, I guess, if that's the word, made me a little nervous, and it did happen on the show, was the whole 24-hour surveillance thing, and then hearing things from their parents that they should not have heard.
Yeah, like about sex positions.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Big awkward.
That was very. Yeah.
I mean, I can't fault the parents obviously because they didn't know that they were being.
That's what I'm saying, right?
watched,
They didn't even
so it's not
like
their
if they
fault.
knew, they would never. Oh, such a cringe. They probably cringed so hard when they went back and saw that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that was bound to happen.
Yeah, and you know how they had the times where they turned the surveillance off.
Yeah.
Did you peep that? There were a couple times where they turned it off at the night show. So yeah. So in the beginning of the show, I was very confused as to how this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Because, having the whole 24-hour surveillance thing, it does give them a chance to kind of see the progress of their parents and be like, oh, okay, well, this is working, this isn't working.
Right.
However, knowing that in the middle and not really knowing how the parents themselves feel about it, I thought that some of the meddling may have ended possible things that could have happened.
I definitely agree.
That,
if they had like left the date alone.
Yeah.
Or brought something nice, because sometimes they chose to do the prank meddle. Like you said, sending in a terrible harpist or something instead of sending the meat and cheese platter.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't send weird things to the date. You know what I mean? Like they were doing it because they were trying to control who they didn't feel like, oh, I like this person that they're on the date with, and I want them to explore other options, so they would mess up that date. But it's like, don't do that. But
Yeah,
they learned the hard way, you know. Quick
they
question
did.
for you.
What's up?
You know, both of our parents are both of our sets of parents are divorced. I never had experience seeing my parents date because they haven't really dated. You, on the other hand,
Yeah.
what was that like for you? You know?
Well, it
What has that
wasn't
been
as
like?
weird as I thought it was gonna be.
Okay.
I think because as a kid I was really observant and I also was very talkative to a lot of other people just outside of our family. So when I saw how my parents like reacted between each other or the conversations they would have or just, how they just would exist in the same space, it made sense to me that they may want to be with someone else. And not to be, like harsh or anything. It just didn't seem like over time that they had the friendship that I would hope they would have after having been together so long. So when they started dating other people and I got to see that friendship side of themselves, it was something I had never seen before. So it was rewarding in that respect. I
Yeah.
say especially with my mom because I didn't know she had that side in her to just try it all.
Yeah.
And she did the whole online dating thing.
Okay.
And that was a shock when she told me about that.
That she was being so open to that.
Yeah, because I mean online dating, at least before Match and Hinge, had a very kind of just like, we in it for the fun, for not wanting to
Okay.
go into it anymore. This is my mother. Kind of feeling about it.
Gotcha.
So when she got into that, I was like, okay. And then she started telling me about the dates she was having and how she was meeting these nice Christian men and how they, wanted to take her
Going
places.
to the Red Lobsters.
Okay, yes, they did go to the Red Lobsters. Yes, they did go.
I'm just saying, it's like,
It was a thing.
no, nothing. What? There's nothing wrong with Red Lobster.
No, there's
I love Red Lobster.
We go there all the time.
Right, but the way you said it was like, yes, they went. I'm like, they have to eat.
Oh my God.
What's
Yes.
wrong with the Red Lobster as a date?
There's nothing wrong with Red Lobster.
They gotta eat.
They do.
That's a high end.
I don't know about high end.
That's a high end. In that age bracket,
Yeah.
like Red Lobster is like, I mean, it's where you want to be.
All right. So it was, then hearing more about the individual guys and that whole thing, I was just like, this is crazy. I thought as you got older that dating would be easier because you're more in of who you are and kind of like, you know what you want. But no, people still crazy. People still wishy-washy. People still don't know which way is left. So
I think that's probably the most disappointing thing about if you have to be back out there dating again is right when people say that like nothing really changes.
Yeah.
They say like you think that like I hear a lot of women saying this. You think that men after a certain age will get more mature. No. I've heard women saying that are
Me too.
older,
Me too.
of a certain age. So yeah, it's like you would think after decades of dating and just maturity like would kick in or just life experience. But I mean, I guess for some they don't.
Well, I would say that life experiences teach you what the right and wrong would be. And you just decide whether or not you want to go through that. Because like when you're a kid, you may not know what the right thing should be.
You don't know.
When you in your 50s, you do know.
And some people are get very stubborn and stuck in their ways. I think
Absolutely.
that's the scariest thing for me. I always want to try to make sure is as I get older, I don't become one of those people that's stuck. You know how like some people, older people get mad at technology?
Oh, yeah.
And first, it's fine to be confused by it and be like unsure of how to use it. That's one thing. But some just don't even want to touch it, or some just get mad at it. Like, why you always got to do this? Or the best music ever was from the 70s. And it's like, that's not true. Like, I never want to be one of those people that say, man, no music nowadays is good. Because that's not true.
I gotta be honest with myself. I feel that way about TikTok. I'm not getting on a TikTok train or boat or whatever transportation. I'm not getting on it.
Okay.
And yes, I will. Will I appreciate a TikTok every now and then? Of course.
Yeah.
They're funny or entertaining or things you've never seen. However, you will not catch me on TikTok.
Right. But see, that's different. I think that's natural. You can choose not to be on there and whatever. But it's
What's the
like,
wave though? Everyone's like, it's the TikTok
no, but
wave.
no, it is a wave. No, but I'm saying like, that's natural. When you're older, you're going to think some things are dumb. That's just how it is. Just like younger people think some things that older people do are dumb. Like, that's just going to happen. But I'm talking about the people that just literally will want to have the same big box tube TV.
I see.
They don't even want to get a flat screen. It's like,
I see.
enjoy the fact that the TV can now hang on the wall and that it's only 2 inches thick. Why not? And they're like, no, I want my... Like, what's the point? Why? Why hold on to so many old things is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Take some things into the future. And then also you could be like, look, jazz is the best music ever. That music was the music of my childhood.
Okay. Are you about to open a speakeasy? What are you doing?
I feel like I picture that's how a man would. That's how a Kyle Barker type of older man would
that's a
talk.
good point.
That's how I pictured it. But yeah, I think that's just the only thing. It's just getting out of your comfort zone if you're older into dating and getting into apps and things, or just even getting out there to date again when you've been with the same person for decades, when you've been married. That's the thing I want to ask you is, like, so all the singles, at the retreat, the second chance retreat, they've experienced some type of heartbreak, right? Either from the marriage ending or maybe, let's say, another relationship that was after, So they've been very hesitant to date, and that's why the kids nominated them. So what's the scariest part to you about like dating again after a serious relationship ends? Like what was the scariest thing? Because I can tell you what it is for me, but for you, go ahead if you want to say.
It's learning all their like dumb, weird things all over again. It takes a lot to really give a fuck about somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, to be as whatever politically correct or whatever if I can. It takes a lot to care. So, and when I say care, I mean just simply knowing what their favorite restaurant is, or how they like to wear their hair, or stuff like that. So once you
Right.
download all those things in your mind, you gotta learn new stuff.
I know, that's true. That's so true.
It's too much.
It's like, remember one of the dads, he was saying like he was tired of the questions of like, what kind of music do you like to listen to? What do you do for a living? Remember he said something like, I'm tired. And they're like, well, we just, you need to get to know each other. And it's true. It's like, he just was tired of it. He wanted to just, like you said, be able to just automatically download it. But it is weird.
It's part of the process.
It's part of the process, but it is annoying. It's like going through I hate the vague questions when dating, when it comes to that, right? When I hated like you said, what do you do? Like, what do you mean? Like, ask me something specific. Like, ask me something more specific. I hate when they go, oh, tell me your life story or tell me about yourself. There's so many facets to myself. You want to know what I do for work, or do you want to know what I do for fun? Or do you want to know how my childhood was? Like, tell me about yourself. That's just too much.
It is.
In one question.
It is. Maybe I'm an old man at heart. I don't know. Because I don't like change like that. I don't like things changing.
Yeah, me either.
And it takes a lot for me to really open up with someone. Like, I'll tell you the whatever, the laundry list of bullshit. I'm like, okay, yeah, I work here and my favorite color is blue. And I also like to look at ponies on the weekends. I'll tell you that whole thing. However, the nitty gritty,
Yeah.
when you're asking me about what kind of sauce I like to put on my chicken, that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I may lie to you and say hot sauce. It's not hot sauce.
Okay.
It's more than just hot sauce. There's a mix.
You gotta work up to that.
You gotta work up to that. Yeah.
Don't be trying to win me over by, we go out and you like, oh, I got the hot sauce and I got the other type of sauce. And it's like, you just doing this. You didn't learn, you didn't guide into knowing that. You just did it. You just asked me and then you just did it because you were like, this is the quickest way to get, in. No.
Also,
don't take no shortcuts.
I'll put this out there. The fastest way to a man's heart is not through his stomach. That's a lie. Anyone who said that is lying. If you're listening to this, you know what the fastest way to his heart is.
Okay, stop.
You know. And it ain't food.
It's not.
It's not food.
It's not. You stupid.
So
you stupid.
That had to be on
that
record.
That saying is so. I used to be like so annoyed with that saying because it's basically telling women if you don't know how to cook, you're gonna be single and you're gonna die alone. Whoa. That's what it's saying.
I mean, it is.
That is exactly what it's saying when someone says that. And you know the only people who say that? Older women. Who just... You don't hear no man saying, you know, sweetheart, fastest way to a man's stomach, heart is through his stomach. You never don't hear no old man saying that.
I ain't never
You don't
said
hear
that.
Older women, and it's like a shaming mechanism to be like, you better learn how to cook. It's like, there are lots of women married to people who don't cook, and they're perfectly fine and happy. And some of them, their husbands are multi-billionaires. So they just order all the time, and they're perfectly fine.
Because, I mean, I think it alludes to the whole women got to be at home in the kitchen thing as well.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And a lot of women I dated, they didn't cook, or they weren't good at it. And I still cared about them anyway. You still dated
them. Exactly.
Would I have liked a roast? Yeah. If you cooking a roast, I'm going to eat it. But that's not the point. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There were other factors. You know, you wasn't like so on the first date. Like, so what all can you cook? Just tell me. Just run down the list. What can you make?
I'll bring my favorites. Like, can you make any of these? If you can't make ribs, then we can't be together.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little short break. But when we come back, we're going to be discussing some more about the couples and the experiences that happened at the Second Chance Resort. My mom, your dad.
And this is the Hot Goss with Chess and Dahlia. I'm Chess.
And I'm Dolly.
So, I've heard that we are going to start breeding unicorns. We found one in the forest, and they're like, hey, do you have a unicorn partner? And the unicorn's like, yeah. And then they, do their thing. And then they had a unicorn baby, and now we're breeding unicorns.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for this because I heard that unicorns and centaurs are actually like half siblings. And they're going to start having little reunions because they didn't know they were related at first and they were having separate reunions. But now they're going to all join together. And it's going to be like, I think in like Mississippi or something.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to be at the t-shirts and everything already. Like Centaur Unicorn Family Reunion 2022.
That's wild. Mm-hmm. I heard that Robert Pattinson's going to host it.
What?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That's got to be like tons of money. But centaurs and unicorns are really, really wealthy.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Do they have stock options?
Oh, yeah. And they just come from, like, a long line of magic. So it's like, magic was, like, one of the first things that was traded on, like, the Dow Jones. So it's just, like, old money on old money on old money.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I got that.
Yeah.
I heard that Harry Potter's Daniel Radcliffe is changing his name to Harry Potter because everyone calls him Harry Potter.
I think that's, like, the best thing he can do.
I mean, yeah, but he's like Daniel, though. That's, like, kind of, like, taking away his identity,
Well, not if he's, like, assuming the Harry Potter identity. And it's like, if that's what he was immersed in for years, then maybe that is his identity, because, like, the two are interchangeable.
But he doesn't have a real wand, so what's the point of being Harry Potter with no real magic?
We don't know that for certain.
That's a good point. I haven't been to his house again. Exactly. I did go that one time.
Oh, yeah.
Snuck in.
He said that you couldn't find any light switches. Like, he doesn't have light switches on the wall. He has, like, something. What does he use? He has,
it's like a kinetic energy thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Where he's like, wave the hand, lights come on.
So then he does have magic, kind of.
I mean, I guess. And that is Hot Goss with Dahlia and Jess. Welcome back to Brownie Sunday. We are talking about My Mom, Your Dad. That is on HBO right now. It's a dating show. So, I want to get into compatibility. I've got into a little deeper voice because it's serious. So, I always thought compatibility was a very weird equation. Because a lot of the time, at least in my experience, the people I thought should be with other people are almost never with
That's a
them.
good, wait, that's a good point.
Never.
That's a good
Not
point.
ever. And then, on the rare occasion that later on in their story they find each other and it's like perfect. I'm like, so I saw that from jump. Why y'all didn't see it?
That is a very good point.
So I think my first comment on that is I was like that for quite some time. Where I like to play, like I said earlier, I like to play games I know I'm gonna win, or at least have a good chance of winning. So I a lot of the time didn't go for people that were necessarily good for me.
Okay.
I just went for people that I thought I would be good with.
Or they liked you back. You saw something. You saw that maybe they were interested in you.
Yeah.
So that's where you made a beeline for that person.
Yeah.
Okay.
As opposed to getting rejected over and over and over again.
For the person you may have been like, I really want to date her.
Yeah.
But she's not. I see.
That's why dating or attempting to date you in the beginning was out of my whole realm of everything. Because I had never talked to anyone outside of my little school setting.
Oh, okay.
And
I remember you telling me this.
was very rarely to say I very rarely said the first thing. I'll always let them either come to me or we have like a kind of like a meet cute or something. I just didn't approach women like that.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And look where it got you. Finally, first time out the gate. Just approach a woman you don't know and now she's your wife.
That's true. No big deal or anything. Everyone try it. Try it once.
But you see how it's like you took a big risk and you got a huge reward because look at me.
Alrighty.
I got a but look, I got a great reward too because I had to take a risk as well. You know what I mean?
That's
because
true.
I didn't know you, and I was like, that's not where my focus was at the time.
I could have been a wackadoo.
You're right. I was like not focused on trying to date, and so I was taking a risk, and also because of not knowing what if you were ready to be in a serious committed relationship, and that's what I was heading towards. I was kind of like, I don't want to date unless it's gonna go somewhere. So it was a risk because someone can tell you that that's what they want, but they may not. They don't actually want that. They're just lying, or they, or they just whatever, misleading a little bit, or not sure themselves. So yeah, I think it's important like for people to hear that. So I'm glad you shared that because you took a big risk and you got to be rewarded. And sometimes it doesn't end the way you may think it is, but the worst that could have happened was what I just said no to going out to dating you.
Well, it's not. It hurts when someone says no.
I'm not saying it doesn't hurt.
I mean, yeah, but you just downplayed it like it ain't that bad.
I'm saying compared. No, I'm saying compared to.
Oh yeah.
Not meeting the love of your life and getting married, or she says no and I'm hurt.
I mean, yeah.
It's just the reward was far outweighed the risk, and most times that's the case. It's like I like to tell people you should take calculated risks. Like someone taught me that phrase. Don't just take risks just to take risks necessarily. Take calculated risks. Weigh the reward or weigh the downfall. See if it's worth it. Go after it. Right.
So how can you tell if someone should be compatible with another, either with yourself or with an outside pairing?
Okay, so I'll tell you, for me personally, I used to think, okay, so I feel like I've never actually set anyone up because I just don't like to do that.
Me either.
Because I don't know if it's going to work. I know the people. If it doesn't work, then it's awkward. I'm
worried about myself. I can't be trying to figure your life out too. No.
I just feel like I'll be to blame if something doesn't end right.
Because you would be to blame.
Well, I wouldn't be to blame.
They never would tell you, but they would blame you.
They would blame me, but I wouldn't be to blame for real.
Not for real. No, I'm saying they
might just blame me.
Oh, damn, Corey, we hate her.
Right.
Behind closed doors.
Damn, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I used to think that compatibility was, oh my gosh, you love that type of music. I love that type of music. Oh my gosh, your birthday is in December. My birthday is in December. Oh my gosh, we both grew up in Chicago. Like the most, big, vague, like compatibility things. That's not compatibility. Those are things that you have just in common just because life, and where you meet someone. But then I learned compatibility is more nuanced. And it doesn't mean that you like all the same exact things. Because some people think compatibility is, well, I like watching sci-fi and they like watching rom-coms, so it'll never work. Like, no. You both love movies? Yes. You both have an appreciation for art and, culture around you? Yes. You both value, you have to have the same values too. Like, you value, you're really into the environment and making sure that the next generation has something and working on towards conservation and stuff. I'm really into that too. That's like, now you have a path to walk down together. It's just like more specific and nuanced than just, oh, we both love burritos, but that's what you think when you're young.
Yeah, I agree.
And some people, I think, look too much on the basics stuff, like you're Episcopalian, I'm Episcopalian, like things that just, well, that might be important if your religion is important. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just certain things, they want everything to be the same. And that's boring.
Yeah.
Those actually relationships don't work. That's why you're supposed to have differences and commonalities to add some spice.
Yeah.
But you can't be too different. Because then if you're too different, one person always wants to go hiking, the other person likes to sit at home and read poetry. And then you're just gonna meet other people.
Yeah. I think people, just the way the imagination works, people always build up everything more in their minds than realistic. However, I feel even more so with dating. Because I always thought that whoever I ended up with would just be perfect. Meaning that they wouldn't make mistakes. They would always know what I was going to say before I
Say it.
see. There it is. And however, now that perfection is something that would always change for me. So it would be impossible for that person to always be perfect if I myself am always changing. So now knowing that and being with you, it made me realize that perfection was just someone that did everything I wanted them to do. Not necessarily being able to think outside the box or encourage me to grow. I feel like, unfortunately, I'll say it's a man thing because I think it's mainly a man thing.
No, I think women do that too a lot. But I get what you're saying, where that could come from. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of men are afraid to grow because of something that a woman said, because a lot of us have associated in masculinity or being demasculated by a woman telling us something that we should change or do better, And I grew up around a lot of women, so it's either I had to just kind of get with it or get lost. So it's like over time I grew to know that it wasn't coming from, saying that I wasn't good as I am or that I needed to change who I am. It was, there's this little part of you that you would shine more if you didn't do that anymore. So I grew to accept it. And I think that both men and women and non-binary and whatever you go as, because we're equal representative.
Yeah.
Anyone who is looking for any type of love, I think there's always that little piece of yourself that you give to that person, whether it be, sacrificing how you view the world and being able to more adapt on their view, or something negative about yourself that you give up. Because like for me, I used to yell a lot. I was a yeller. Then I got into meditation. And I still get upset, obviously, because I'm not going to hold it in and, explode from the inside out. However, I don't yell in the way that I used to. I'm much better at more calmly saying my piece. And I feel that that's led to better results. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I'm able to tell you how I feel as opposed to screaming at you, you're much more likely to listen to what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So I think that's a big thing that people need to continually learn, is that you gotta be willing to change a little bit. Because no one's perfect, so
Yeah. I mean, I think I was a silent sufferer. You were a yeller, I was a silent sufferer. Because a lot of times in relationships, when I expressed how I felt, it would become a big blowout. I'm talking about we're dealing with people who have had anger issues. Okay, like big anger issues. Like you didn't yell, you would raise your voice. You know, there's a difference between someone screaming and raising their voice. And these people would scream or like throw things or, a lot of just go over the top crazy. Okay. And it was like scary and unsettling, So I would I would just kind of be like, well, I got to pick and choose what I'm going to, say or I'm going to express what I feel. And that's not healthy and that's not cool. And so what I have learned is to completely use my voice and my mind and my opinions and express them all the time. You know how I feel. Like if I'm feeling something, don't hold it in. Don't get resentful. Don't quiet yourself. It's not helpful to you. It's not helpful to anyone. If someone can't take you expressing something and saying, and it's the way you express it too, right? If you're mean about something, then it's going to be hurtful to their feelings and it's just going to cause, friction. But if you're addressing something and saying in a respectful way, hey, I don't like when you do this, or I don't like, I'm feeling like this, then you can get to the bottom of things, and they could maybe even find out, oh, this was a misunderstanding. Oh, wow. I thought when you were saying this, you were meaning that. And now I know that you were just trying to make sure that I wasn't late for work. You weren't trying to tell me what to do. You see what I'm saying?
Do you feel a lot of people confuse passion for love?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I had
Yeah.
to think about it first. I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 Do you think, because I've always thought this, do you think that's partially because of what we see on TV? Because I think it's just not, just being real, it's not fun to watch good couples. They're boring.
Oh my gosh.
They're
They're
boring.
so secure in their love.
They fight so fair.
It's like Jim and Pam.
Exactly. So,
Which I loved to watch. I loved to watch it. A lot of people said it got boring. Well, I won't say a lot of people. One particular person who I dated in the past who has a problem
oh God.
with seeing happy couples because they themselves are not happy.
Well, there you go.
Now it just clicked. He was like, oh, when Jim and Pam got together, it just got so boring. And I was like, that was when the show to me just blossomed.
Yeah.
It's because it has to be like, like, what the words I'm looking for. It's got to be like tension and conflict,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're right. So, like, in what ways do you see people maybe, like you said, mistaking love for passion? You said reality show is one way.
Well, I think the big, what's the word? The romantic gestures or the lack thereof. I feel that some people that I've dated, or more so even known, I don't really think I've dated many people like this, but people I've known where they're like, well, he didn't give me a Maserati for Valentine's Day, so that means he doesn't love me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That whole thing. And then from the male perspective, oh, well, she didn't do my favorite for Valentine's Day, so she doesn't love me. And I just think that you kind of cut off a lot of relationships at the knees if you're expecting very specific things from them, because everyone is different. So, for instance, the way I love you, I don't have any money. I'm broke. So I can't get you a Maserati for Christmas or Valentine's Day.
You're not broke.
But comparatively to these men that are like, here's a diamond necklace,
right,
and here's a tennis bracelet that I know you're never gonna wear. It's just gonna just sit in the closet. You know what I'm saying? So, however, I show you love all the time by making you breakfast or bringing you food.
You always surprise me. I know, because my love language is food. You always surprise me with something. Like, you'll just randomly be like, hey, I saw this while I was out. Like, you'll just be at the grocery store going to run an errand, and then you come back with something. So that's like wonderful how you just show me, because I'm not even into gifts. Are not my love language. It's like the last one for me, I think. But it's just, I get excited about your gifts because they're just any day. I don't have to wait for a holiday. You just come back with something for me. So I think it has a
I'm a
lot to do with
hunter-gatherer that way.
stop. I think it has a lot to do with what is your love language, and how people were raised. If they grew up maybe seeing one of their parents always giving expensive gifts, then that's what they're going to think is love. So they go out into the world, and that may not even be what love really is for them, but it's what they saw, and so that's what they're told. That's love. Love is buying a dozen roses, making a fancy dinner reservation, and getting something expensive. Instead of, hey, I wonder if I baked their favorite cookies and then just rented their favorite movie. That could
Yeah,
be it. And just spend quality time. So yeah, it's about finding out what your love language is and what your love language of your partner is.
I agree.
Because you can't just expect your love language, you give that, and then that they're going to be fulfilled with that. You have to find out what theirs is, and that's how you have to show them love.
Yeah. I think a lot of it comes back to listening, and I think it took me a long time to just listen. Because I feel like in a conversation I can do it, just like, okay. With anyone, people tell me all kind of stuff. Can listen about that. However, when I feel like I'm on the defensive, it has been really hard for me just to listen. And also when I want something from them, in the past at least, it's been hard for me to listen as well. So I think that as people continually become more comfortable with themselves and who they are, they're more willing to just sit and just listen to their partner, Because I feel like a lot of parents at the show, that's one thing that they were really good at. And from listening, they were able to give their prospective people whatever they want. However, also, they were able to pinpoint very quickly whether or not they were a match. Because if you actually hear what someone's saying, you can better read between the lines, one. And two, you pick up on intentions a lot faster
That's true.
than waiting to see what they do. A lot of the time, someone will tell you who they are in the first 10, 15 minutes of meeting them before they've done anything with you outside of share a drink. You know what I'm saying? So that is one thing I definitely learned from the show is the importance of listening.
Yeah. Really quick, I want to just ask this one thing from you. So, how important do you think is initial attraction in dating someone? Because I know on the show there was this one particular dad that everybody wanted, okay? Everybody thought he was just the sexiest man. I mean, he was an attractive man. But there just seemed to be, when they would go on the dates, there would always be a little,
Yeah.
where the conversation just wasn't flowing, and it just wasn't with like one person. It seemed like with all the women that he went on a date with, there was just not that connect of any type of good conversation. I don't know if he just wasn't good at conversation, or he just kind of just boring to me, or just, I don't know. But it's just funny because they were all attracted to him at first, and were after. So for you, what was that like for you? Because I can tell you, for me, honestly, initial attraction, I'm not ever really like just so attracted to somebody when I first meet them. It's getting to know someone that makes them more attractive. Yeah.
Me too. I think contrary. Most people think this other way. I can't find the proper phrase right now. That men only go for what they're attracted to physically. So if I'm attracted to you physically, I'm going for you. I've never been that way. I think primarily because I know I like to talk, and I also know I like to listen as well. So no matter how pretty you are or how attractive you are, if we can't have a conversation, what we do in the bedroom wouldn't be fun anyway.
Stop.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Because
right.
I feel like a lot of people miss the mark with that, with sex and stuff, because they think that, well, if they're physically attractive, their sex is going to be great.
Right.
And that's just
But
not the truth.
that's not true. It's not as great, personally. It's not as great. Like, you can be like, okay, yeah, I got the job done.
Exactly.
But it's not like fireworks, and I love you. So any final thoughts like on the show? I mean,
Watch it.
yep.
Definitely watch it, first of all. Two, I think the main thing I learned from the show is that kids should not be meddling in their parents' business because those little shits didn't
Yeah.
know which way was up.
Because they were so inexperienced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
What I learned was that, well, first of all, it was really interesting seeing people of a certain age date because there's just so many, it's just so different than seeing 20 somethings, obviously. Because it's like, I feel like they immediately go for a deeper connection. They just cut to, it's easier for them to get there and to find out also who's compatible, who's not. You know, they've been there, done that. They don't have to play these games and spend too much time with the wrong type of person. They quickly move on from someone who they realize may not be the best for them. It's faster. And then also just cool seeing like people trying to find love again, you know. It was happy, it just gave good feels, and seeing that their kids love them so much that they want to see them happy was really nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our episode. Oh my gosh, this is a lot of fun. Like I said, we love reality TV shows.
We're obsessed.
About dating and love specifically, and Survivor.
Yeah.
They're not related. It's just they're not related at all. But it's just like that's our thing is to watch it's just good to see people trying to find love and being happy, you know. So, I'll watch this again. You want to watch it again?
Me
the
too.
whole series, yeah,
for sure.
Okay.
So happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
If you got someone, hold them close.
If you don't, hug yourself close because you are the most important. You are the most important thing here. Okay, love yourself. Love yourself. Love your friends. Love your family. Yeah.
Absolutely. So follow us on @BrownieSunday on Instagram.
At Brownie Sunday Podcast.
See, I don't even know our Instagram.
Yeah, you don't.
That's horrible.
It's at Brownie Sunday Podcast.
@BrownieSunday Podcast.
Yep.
And that's it, peeps. Bye.